death, art historically has been a dominant theme for, throughout the centuries. It's nothing new. Art historically, if you look at Michelangelo's use of the cadaver and move forward into still life painting, Dutch still life painting, which is about mortality. The first self-portrait in photography, particularly Baylor as a drowned man. I mean, the tradition of death in art is common in a lot of ways. It's not shocking. We may be a little less informed because of the generation that we are. But the thing I wonder about always when I see shows that are about death in my own work, which is about death, there seems to be one taboo, and that is the moment of dying. The actual moment of dying is something that is very rarely used in the work of art. And if you, in curating the show, came across any work that addressed that moment of dying. Even, the Benetton ads that were a few years ago when they were photographing AIDS patients and so on and so forth were considered to be shocking because they were taken right after the moment of death. There seems to be this transitional moment, which you deal with in the funeral industry after the fact as well. Jack, you're dealing with it well after the cadavers that have been used sites at this point. So there seems to be that moment, and I'm wondering if that moment will ever be addressed.
Yeah, the only piece I can think of is that Bill Viola piece with the mother dying and the birth and that.
Yeah,
and
just shown the moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I included Faces of Death for that reason, I think, because it actually, even though a lot of the film is staged, there are certain things, in particular, this particular Faces of Death Part 2, there are certain instances where, yeah, you do watch people get killed. And there's an instance where the boxer, Lupe Pintor, kills another boxer, and it's really horrible to watch. I mean, the guy is getting pummeled and nobody does anything about it, and then he's knocked down, it's a knockout, and then, everyone, the Rock is in, they raise Pintor aloft and carry him out, but the guy is pretty much, he's in a coma and he's going to die within, hours. And actually, Clint Bronish, he was at he's one of the, he represents Jack, and he was glued to the screen, to the video, the whole, like, I would say about 30 minutes of the opening of the show, and he told me this show is an effing downer. And I thought it was so great that he said that, because he was really, he was taken aback by the video. I don't enjoy watching the film. Like, the first time I saw it, I was really shocked because they show animals getting killed, and I'm a vegetarian, and they show, for instance, koshering, like what they do to the cows. They have to bleed them. You can't just kill them. You gotta bleed them, and then they basically suffocate on their own weight, because you take a two-ton animal and you put them on the ground. That weight will implode within their, their organs will be crushed. And, there's a scene where these men are being shot to death by a government. And to me, I think that's a good point, is that, yeah, death in the past, in past centuries, death was more a part of life because it was easy to die. Like, life was cheap, like, it was so easy to get killed during the Middle Ages. That's why there are so many memento moris, and at that point in Germany, all over Europe, there are memento moris, which are basically telling people, maybe you're living large right now, but pretty soon you're going to be dead. They had the Black Plague, the bubonic plague was killing, thousands of people all over the place. And yeah, it was pretty big, but when you get to our century here, when you get to the 20th century, well, now the average living span of a person is over like 80 years old now, and it's only rising. So at least in our industrialized world, death has become this boogeyman that's used, like we bring him out when it's time to show some, show some shocking thing, like, like Friday the 13th or something.
Although the 20th century was arguably more murderous.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
any other century.
Yeah, it's true. And I included these books that are by the video. I mean, I personally, I mean, the show has been, someone penned the show has been sensationalist and full of gore. But I felt that if I didn't include Faces of Death and the books that are included with the exhibition, it might be a little lopsided because of the fact that, you know, death is, you know, the whole idea that someone got killed, that's really brutal. And there's a book in there from the 1940s. It's a scrapbook of a homicide detective took a bunch of, you know, police photographs and collected them. And when you look at that book, you're going like, I can't believe people were doing this to each other at that time, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think you got a great point there.